back, everybody. We're in the McBastard studio here in FOCO, USA. You're listening to the SaltyMF Goat podcast. Today's guest, we're really excited because it's actually our first female guest in the studio, so we're really happy about that. So today we're talking to Elisabeth Flach. I call her Mother-Flacher because that's what everyone else calls her. So she is the CEO and founder of the Scrilla Group. It's a marketing and martech company in kind of the digital space, and they're doing a lot of really cool things. The thing that when I first met Elisabeth, or Mother-Flacher, I really loved her style, her demeanor, and so any woman that loves trucks, fast cars, outdoors, shooting guns, she is ultimately the SaltyMF Woman of the Year in my book. And so welcome, Elisabeth, to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited to be here.
It's good to see you. I'm glad you came on. I mean, I got to tell the audience, so when I said, hey, do you want to come be on the podcast? She said, can we just go shoot guns instead? So I was in.
Maybe
I was hooked.
next time it's just an adventure. Like it's an off-road adventure.
Yeah.
Like out of the studio adventures.
Yeah, so I wore my My Hunt Media hat for you. But,
thanks. I have my camo
you got
on.
your camo on. That's done.
This is my favorite jacket.
We're going to go blow some shit up after this.
Oh, listen. I would love to take some of my inner child aggression out on blowing shit up.
Yeah.
Like, when are we doing that? Like,
Yeah.
I'll make sure I book that next trip
We'll get
now.
some tannerite and blow some stuff up. We've done some of that. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't shot tannerite, we'll take it.
I have not. I
Yeah.
actually just did some clay shooting a couple weeks ago. I got invited to kind of like a networking event that was around the clay shooting, and it raised money for charity, which was really cool. And I honestly hadn't shot a shotgun in like 12 years since I was married. And so I know how to shoot one, but like getting readjusted.
Yeah.
And so obviously I was probably holding it. I mean, I don't have very broad shoulders.
Yeah.
And that shit had kick.
Was it 20 or 12 gauge?
It was 12.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And so I ended up having like a couple of bruises on my arm. Really, I got beat up, you know? And I was like, don't worry, I'm not in an abusive relationship. It's fine. It was a shotgun.
That's awesome. Well, good for you. It relieves stress. It's anyone who hasn't, shot guns at the range or whatever. I encourage you to get out there, not only for self-defense, but it's a lot of fun. So.
It's very, and I hate to use this word, empowering, but I mean, it really does. Like, you shoot it and you're kind of like,
there's nothing like an angry
badass.
blonde with a 12-gauge shotgun. Nothing like
don't come up on my front porch, man.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah, that's actually funny. So my daughter, I have 4 kids, and my oldest is 21, and she's my only daughter. And then I have a 19, 16, and 11-year-old son. And she started dating in high school.
No.
But she hated to tell her dad about the boys in her life because he's a dad.
Yeah.
And
Nobody likes.
so she would tell me, and she'd be like, okay, so I'm talking to this guy. I'm not telling dad yet because he'll lose his shit. And I'm like, okay, give me the parameters around this boy. So she really liked this one kid. And I said, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to vet him. Bring him to the house. I'll figure out the sitch. If he's worthy, we'll tee it up to dad. But we're not going to get dad all crazy if he's not worthy of dad's time. She's like, perfect. So this little dude walks in the house.
Bad sign. Little dude, like, warning.
Right. Like, and I have my juicer out. Like, I'm making fresh juice at 8 o'clock at night. Because if anyone's ever made fresh juice, you don't use a juicer at 8 o'clock. It's a pain in the ass. It's a whole conundrum. The cleaning up process is a mess. So I've got like carrots, celery, cucumbers.
The old Freudian,
100%.
imagery.
And I'm like pushing it in. Hey, Tyler! Welcome!
Yeah.
Would you like some fresh juice? And he's looking at me. And she's like, Mom, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm making fresh juice, honey. It's healthy for you.
Yeah.
And so
Poor kid.
we like talked for a minute. And then when he went to leave, I was like, it was really nice to meet you. And I said, listen, Tyler, I'm not trying to scare you or anything, but you really don't have to worry about Ella's dad. Look, if you fuck up, he'll shoot you. Plain and simple. But me,
Did he come back?
like, I'm going to bury the body and no one's going to know and no one will ever know the wiser.
And put your carrot in the juicer.
And I'll help them try to find you. So you really don't need to worry about her dad. You probably need to worry about me. Love you. Be safe. Let her know you made it home.
That's awesome. Did he make it?
He did. Well, he ended up being a toxic son of a bitch, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing that I really liked about you when I first met you, and so we had met at a party, and you were talking about when you came up to me, you said, hey, you introduced yourself, I'm Mother-Flacher, and I was kind of like, what are you talking about? So, so tell me a little bit about, so growing up, I mean, were you kind of a country girl? I mean, you
I grew
like
up in
trucks?
the country. Yeah, so I grew up in Tampa, but North Tampa.
Okay.
So it was like out here, how it's
Yeah.
very rural. That's how it was back in the day. It's not like that anymore. I mean, I grew up on land. We had acreage. My former husband and I had acreage.
That's awesome.
I like space. I don't want people on top of me.
Yeah.
I don't like rules. I don't want to be in a box. I hate subdivisions and HOAs. So I love the country. I'm like, I want my life to be like 75% very country, space, freedom, don't tell me
Yeah.
what to do. And then 25% go into the big city,
Yeah, do
do
your
cool
work,
shit,
get out.
come home, and then be done, right?
Yeah.
Because you need that element to create grit and excitement and passion and fire.
Exactly. It's
But you can't live that way because it just burns all your sprockets all the time. There's
Right.
just too much stimulation. It's distracting.
it's funny because I mean we have similar like beliefs and stuff, and I'm in the tech business from another business, and you're kind of in the martech business. We know a little bit about martech.
A little bit.
A little bit about martech. But it's the same way. I'd rather be in my jeans and hanging out versus. So you kind of have to turn it on. It's kind of a dichotomy. When we started SaltyMF, and I didn't have a beard, and people that had worked with me for the last 25 years saw me, and they were like, "I'm like, oh, this is." I finally just said, "Hey, this is what you're getting."
Well, it's funny. So, I went to college, got a degree, never really fully pursued my degree, got married, had kids, started a commercial construction company with my former husband. So I learned a lot about concrete and things that I never thought I would ever know about, like PSI and like temperature. And I'm like, all right, we're in it, let's go.
Yeah.
And then when I got divorced, I had an opportunity. I had to go back to work, and I had an opportunity to decide like what I wanted to do. And I can't stand the corporate world, and I'm not a commuter. Like I have road rage. So that's not a good color for me.
So that's why you Ubered here?
100%.
The Uber guy couldn't find this place, by the way.
Yeah. Like then I can just stick around on my phone while he's driving. It's beautiful. And so I told everybody I want to work in sports and entertainment, and everyone thought I was absolutely insane. They're like, "You're a mom from Lutz, Florida. Like what?
Yeah.
Like you?" And I go, "Okay, whatever. I'm gonna do it."
Yeah.
I mean, I have to start from baseline, right? So I might as well do what I love doing every day. And, like, you can have a great life doing this with great people. And then I did it. And I did it, like, I made this list. And I'm like, I want to work with the college football playoff. I want to work with, all these major brands. And I did. I worked for ESPN for many years. I literally worked for the national championship game.
Yeah.
And everyone thought, there's no way they're going to hire you. Like, you're a mom.
Yeah.
Like, who does marketing? This is the biggest college football game in the history. And I was like, yeah, I have a solution to a problem they don't know they have. And like, I just believed my own bullshit.
Yeah.
But I deep down I knew that for some reason, I'll call it God, whatever your, like spiritual thing is. But for me, I knew in my soul that like, I truly was solving a big problem that I didn't even know really existed. But along the way, I figured it out. And then all the alignment happened. And then they hired me within 5 years. And it was like, woo.
But sometimes it's funny like that because from, an outsider coming into an industry, right, in different perspectives, you see things that people that think they know everything about a subject or a market space, and they're missing sometimes they miss the obvious because they do start buying their own bullshit. My old business partner, Tom Morton, God bless him, he's gone. He used to tell me, he said, Brad, you're starting to believe your own bullshit. And when you start to believe your own bullshit, that's when you get in trouble. And I never forgot him saying that. But I think, and it's funny, it's one of the reasons, too, I was really excited to have you. I've got 4 kids, you got 4 kids. That whole
crazy.
stigma of being a mom, right? And, I mean, it's funny how people try to stereotype you or put you in a segment. And people struggle with the fact of, even when we started Salty, right? They've known me as a tech person or whatever. So when we started that, like, they couldn't believe, well, hey, look, I'm a complex human being. I have a lot of interests. There's things I want to do. There's other things I want to pursue. I'm not just this.
Correct.
And I think it's like, moms are business people too, or moms are sports fans too, or mom can put a shotgun on her shoulder and shoot somebody. I think that the stereotypes hold people back sometimes, even from both sides. The people hiring or the people looking for a job. You got to do just what you said. Screw it, I'm doing this. I want to do it. I'm going to make it a success. And now you have the Scrilla Group. So that's
It's
awesome.
really, it's interesting you should bring that up because just because I'm a mom, actually, me being a mom makes me even more of a badass of a human being.
Right.
Because now it's not just about me. Every decision that I make has a massive impact on the people behind me. And when I'm gone, like, are they going to be good human beings? Do they have a good work ethic? Are they buying into their self-limiting beliefs? Or do they, like, look at me and go, well, shit, mom did it. Like, mom was literally, like, going through a divorce with 4 kids under 11, and she did it. So whatever she did, like, I need to do that, right? So it comes down to, yeah, I'm a woman, but, like, listen, I'll go toe-to-toe with any man any day.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, like, my mouth is my weapon.
Yeah,
So, like, I try not to use it too much because I really hurt people's feelings. Like,
It's okay. It's okay.
I've been told that by men before.
It's okay. That's all right. Well, hey, look, they're probably not innocent in the matter either. So the funny thing is we're all human and we all have kind of similar traits other than the fact that thank God for women because there would be no human beings if men had to give birth.
Amen.
I know there's something out going on around there that a guy can squeeze a baby through his penis, but
No, he cannot.
I don't quite believe that. So I'm calling bullshit on you out there. Sorry about that.
That's just one of the very fun, intricate layers of being a woman. All the other shit, y'all would be like, oh my God, I need my whoopee.
Exactly. I've got a cold today, so can you hold me? I need a
Literally.
I need a cough
I have
drop.
a sniffle, honey, I can't do anything. Meanwhile, we have like the flu with 104
Yeah,
fever.
take care of 4 kids.
You're like, can you bring me something to drink? And you're like, here's lukewarm water. You're like,
well, you know what? God bless you. I mean, if men if they didn't respect you or whatever, they still wouldn't chase you. So I don't believe in that. I don't know. I don't think we're as far apart as we think we are. We just think different about stuff sometimes. So
agreed.
and it's just the way that we deal with stuff and the way women deal with stuff. And so I really don't think we're that far apart. If we were, civilization wouldn't be around. So
It's very true.
I don't want to state the obvious.
I always say it's interesting how God made men and women and expected us to peacefully coexist when we really are different.
Yeah.
And I think that's an interesting point. It's finding where your differences lie and where your similarities are, and then where you're willing to like adapt or compromise.
Yeah, and I mean, you know that. I mean, you have to. I mean, it's relationships in any man, woman, or just friends or business partners.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it's not the way that you want it sometimes. And I mean, I was never a corporate guy either. I couldn't stand the politics and the policies and the bureaucracy and the backstabbing and the, this, and it kind of like how you want to be away for that 20% of the time, 25% of the time. I've always kind of had that, I want to be able to do what I want to do. But what you learn when you do that, when you know that by owning your own business, is you start to depend more on partnerships, and you start to really value partnerships where each party has value in that relationship.
Right.
And you don't have to have all the baggage that's out there. You can pick the
100%.
parts that you like and really work together and come together. And so that has always been really successful for our businesses. We were able to do that. So, and I know you do that because I know that you we kind of came in together and met through Brinks. And I know so other than being a mom, being
and the emotional support given to like 100 people.
Yeah, and being emotionally intelligent and all that good stuff, and wearing camo and shooting guns and
drink beer.
Yeah, you like beer. That's awesome, guys. I mean, this really might be the SaltyMF Woman of the Year right here. So you might be witnessing that. So you had asked me, well, how come you guys don't have women, a lot of women on the show? To be honest with you, we've had one woman audio because she wasn't here. Damn Right Cocktails, she's awesome. But when they watch our shows, it's the bad thing when you start producing these podcasts. You're just trying to get good people on and talk, and then when the ladies see it, well, all you have is dudes on there. I'm like, yeah, because no one's stepping up. What are we gonna do? We're not gonna eat you. Well, we might, but we're not gonna eat you. Just come on the show. So it's funny how that dynamics is. So hopefully you'll be the first of many strong, salty MF women that come onto our podcast.
I don't remember what we were on, but so talking about Brink. So we were on a call a couple of weeks ago with one of my friends who I brought to the table and introduced everyone to, and someone said lady and gentleman, and blah, blah, blah. And Brigus goes, hold on. Flacco's not a lady. And I was like, yes, I'm a dude wearing a chick's body, like with blonde hair.
Yeah.
We're good, everybody.
Yeah.
And it was like, exactly. So I think part of it is, you know, I'm full woman, all woman, but I worked in male-dominated industries for a very long time. Grew up with a lot of boys as my best friends. I have a lot of sons, you know, like.
You have 3 boys and 1 girl, right?
Yeah,
Well,
I just don't take life too seriously.
Yeah.
I don't worry about like nitpick stuff. You know, like I got divorced, so in my divorce, like there were things that he would say, like, oh, you're this, and I kind of like would dissect that, like in my therapy. So I realized, okay, well, that's not a good quality to have, but it was an adaptive quality at the time. It's really not who I naturally am, so I got to figure out a happy medium to not be that person anymore, right, and project that. And I think that in that, I became very like, okay, like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm neutral. Like,
Yeah.
I can get along with pretty much anybody. If I don't like you, I'll just be cool. I'm not going to be a jerk.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not going to be your friend. I read people very well. And so, you know, and I understand that men really are simple creatures.
How dare you?
Well,
How dare
listen,
you?
Your minds, not all of your minds are simple. But the life that you want to live is usually pretty simplistic.
Absolutely.
Right? And so sometimes as women, I have this conversation with all of my female friends who are dating. I'm not dating because I'm just like sitting back going, I don't want any of that bullshit. So here I am. I'm just here. And but they'll say like, I don't understand. And I'm like, well, he said this, right? And they'll go, yeah. And I go, well, he just fucking told you. Like, why are you making this?
Yeah.
Like he said, I don't want that.
Yeah, well, because it's like,
What
yes
do you not
means
understand?
no.
Yeah, like
No
I was
means
like,
yes.
that's not
No, it just means
that's
no.
not like
Just
the
no.
beginning of the negotiation. He point blank, you asked a question and he point blank answered it. There it is.
Oh shit!
You don't want to accept that as the
You
answer.
need to do a
I fucking
podcast.
love you, but
Mother-Flacher, that therapist. You need to have a dude on one end of the couch and their spouse or girlfriend on the other, and just and let it go out. You know what I found in life, and I tell people this. I mean, I've said it several times, and people get it. Everyone knows, but I think the reality of it is when you become confident with yourself and you don't really care about the external things that are happening around you or what people think about you, life becomes a lot easier.
peaceful.
And the older I get, I find that I really don't, care and give a shit. So it becomes a lot easier, and you really, I think more people really are intrigued by what you're doing because you're just being yourself, and you're, and you don't have to be absolutely just rude or an asshole to somebody.
Right.
But the reality of it is, if you don't like something someone's saying or they're doing, it's okay to call their ass out and just say, hey, look.
So someone I
Not
love
doing
right
the right
now is Coach Prime.
Yeah.
And the reason why I love him is, number one, he is such a faith-based person, and I really think he's using his platform to really magnify a strong foundation that we should all have,
Yeah.
whether it's in God or the universe or whatever deity or higher self thing you want to worship outside your own ego. But I love, he said this once, and he said, don't let my confidence, don't let my confidence disrupt, I'm messing it up. It was
It's all right.
basically talking about, don't let who he is make you feel some type of way. But if you feel that way,
Yeah.
then take a look at yourself, right? Don't be mad at me because I'm confident, I know who I am, and I'm okay saying whatever I want to say, whether
Right.
it disrupts your peace or not, or makes you feel triggered. And I think that
I hate the word triggered.
I do too.
absolutely
It's
hate it.
highly woke-ish, but
It's-
whatever. We can talk about that later.
Sorry to shit on your word triggered, but I absolutely hate it.
Yeah, I think that I've come to a place in my life where I am very empathetic. I give a lot of people grace. I think if your crap starts to project into my space, I will say hey, look, I'm not good with this. Here's my boundary. And I'm very truthful. I'm very blunt sometimes and direct. I'm not mean. I always come with good intentions, but man, I tend to send people into a tailspin in 2.2 seconds.
That's okay though. It makes them better people.
They don't always think so though. Trust me. They kick
Well,
back.
nobody likes the truth.
No.
Right? Nobody likes the truth.
No.
And people who say they don't like the truth. And if you want to find really one of the most hated people in the world, it'll be someone who's telling the truth all the time.
That's usually me.
That's because they don't
I
like
say people either love me or hate me, and there is no in
and that's
between.
okay, but it's black and white. That's my point is like we have such a finite time on Earth, right? I mean, we think I don't know, the average guy's gonna live 78, average woman maybe live 80, whatever it is. That's not a lot of time.
No.
And so I think when you can start to get your mindset and your karma, whatever you want to do, to a point where you're only going to spend time on things that are positive. I mean, negative things will happen to you. You have to deal with that. You don't just ignore it. But you have to kind of keep your kind of aura like in a good light, in a good way moving forward, because there's a lot of shit going on in the world. Politics, war, all kinds of crazy propaganda. It's just bombarding. I feel sorry for kids, and even my kids are older, and they're getting the back end of this stuff, and thank God they're not in this right now. There's just so much shit, and people are going to have to learn to block out. Who cares what someone says about you? Who gives? Hey, look, I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care. I don't really give a shit. You're human. You're like me. If you don't have the same ideology as me,
human being, that's
fine. Go fuck off. Do whatever you want to do. Leave me alone. Don't judge me for what I'm doing, and I won't judge you. So that's my philosophy. If you don't like it, sorry. Enjoy.
We're the same way, and I think my kids are very. I talk to them about everything, all the things going on in the world, and I really try to teach them. They're very magical beings.
Yeah, all kids are awesome.
All gifted. We're all gifted with like spiritual gifts and gifts of that come from a higher source, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of times, our generations and older were taught like to block that out. Like that's woo woo shit, or it's feelings. It doesn't matter. Like, so
that's why everybody's on Percocet or whatever.
So my job in life, and like when people say like what's your why, it literally has nothing to do with money and success, and it has everything to do with raising emotionally intelligent human beings who grow up to be non-assholes and do good things and leave an impact in the world. But more importantly, when they get married, their husband and their wives say to me, thank you. Like, you didn't raise an entitled asshole who thinks I should clean up his laundry. Or he can emotionally articulate his feelings and tell me what's wrong, and we can sit and have a conversation and not throw shit at each other. And our children are like gonna grow up and be helpful.
Honey?
Like
women throwing shit at people.
Well, like we've all been there. That was 20-year-old Elizabeth. She used to throw starch cans and keys, whatever got the point across. My wife's with many things. But I think it's really important. Yeah. Be nice to her, and then she won't.
I just said, hey, I gave her credit.
Every action has a reaction, Brad.
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't matter at this point. It's how someone's. You can tell someone, hey, you look great today, or you're amazing, or whatever, and you'll be like, well, what do you mean by that? Well, I mean, I don't. I'm just like that simple man thing. Hey, your hair looks pretty today. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, I mean, it looks pretty today.
Thanks, I washed it. Wow.
Exactly. So you got to be careful. Sometimes you're going to lose the battle. Just, crawl under your desk and move on. So
yesterday I got here, and I met one of the guys who was coming in also to come to a meeting. And so we rode out together. But as I was walking to meet him, we were in the rental car section, and I was on the phone with one of my friends, and I was like, all right, I love you, bye. And I hung up. He goes, you love me? And I go, of course I love you. Not in that kind of way, like in one of the 7 ways of love, maybe some agape in there, but like, I don't know, you like that, but it's cool, like, I'll love you here. And he laughed. And so then we went to the bagel place that's like around the corner.
BB's?
Yeah.
BB's Bagel, by the way, call out to BB's Bagel right here off McFarland Road.
Amazing.
New York bagels, they're awesome. I appreciate them. I owe some guys some teas over there.
The sweet dude who was working the thing gave me all this extra coffee creamer. He was so kind and loving. He gave me his secret stash. He was good peeps.
Sorry about that. I just had to
so I come around the corner, and there was this chick wearing a Grinch sweater, and I was like, I have a Grinch sweater too. And I was like, I fucking love your sweater. I was like, and I know you're not a Grinch. It's just that all moms fucking hate Christmas because it's way more work and stupid shit we don't want to deal with. She goes, that. And I was like, I need your sweater. And so I come around and I go, but it's okay, I love you. And this guy walks up and he goes, you do? And I go, I do. He goes, well, I'm married. I go, in a non-sexual way, don't tell your wife, like joking. And I was like, man, I need to shut the fuck up because I'm about to get myself into some trouble.
You're gonna get a couple takers if you keep doing that. They're gonna think you're fishing, and you're gonna get. They're gonna take it.
Yeah.
The fish
I
are
was
gonna
like,
bite.
you know what? I'm not talking anymore. That's it. I'm out. I'm done.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, I know your kids are decent people because you're a good person and you're very honest, and that's what I like about you. So, like, what excites you now and what you guys are doing around? I know you're doing some work with Brinks TV and IL House, and martech. We were in martech for a while, and I mean sometimes this gets overwhelming to me. So why did you fall in love with that? Did you fall in love with it more for? Because I know you're a big event person. You love sporting events.
I do.
Basketball, football. So, all you dudes out there, I mean, I know she's not looking right now, but that's a pretty good deal. Beer, shotgun. Wait, what are we going to do this weekend, honey? Well, we're going to go shoot guns. Then we're going to go to the game. Then we're going to... But no, so what drew you? Like, what like ultimately just drew it? Was it that part of it, like the sports side?
So I had friends who like had worked in sports, and they were always on the sideline of like every sporting event. I don't like going to an event and sitting in Gen Pop. This is where my bougie, like snobby persona comes into play, right? Like, I don't like big crowds. I don't want to be amongst the big crowd. I want to be in the suite or on the field or underneath the thing. Right. Like, I want to be where the VIP people are. And I was like, what do I have to do to get that? Like, what do I have to do to be able to go to like every football game, basketball game, hockey game?
Golf, yeah.
So I basically created my own company and pocketed myself in spaces where I would be able to attend all of those events and get paid for them. So I got to live a great life and make money.
That's smart.
And I got to travel, which I didn't do for a very, very long time.
Right.
So it was awesome and awful. It was, it had its ups and downs. But I built amazing relationships. I'm really good with people. People are my thing. And I'm very reciprocal in them. And so, like my son just wanted to go to Las Vegas for his 16th birthday and watch this Hall of Fame game that my friend, her company runs and operates the event. And one of her really good friends is also a good friend of mine. And he's like, oh, I got you. I'll hook you up. So we sat courtside.
I saw that was awesome.
And like Ronnie was there, but he didn't play. But like his family was sitting like around the corner. And my son got to meet Shaquille O'Neal's older son who plays in the NBA, Sharif. And it was just a really cool experience for him because that's been my life for a very long time. Like, I don't talk about it a lot. Like, I don't talk about all the people that I know that are famous or the athletes that I hang out with or people that I can talk on the phone. Because you don't want to be that person. Yeah, but also, like, I think it helps that people understand that those are the relationships that I have and the business that I have built. But my kids always don't get to experience it. So for him to be a part of it,
that's awesome.
He'd never been to Vegas. And he was like, Mom, this was the coolest thing we've ever done. Like, I feel like such a badass. And he went back to school, and he goes to a Jesuit school with all boys, right? And he's a starter on the basketball team. So he's kind of already, he's a sophomore. He's like kind of a badass, but like, he's very humble.
Strutting his stuff, though.
But everyone's like, bro, oh my God. Like, he's like, Mom, I'm not going to lie. I feel like a total badass. And I was like, well, you kind of are, son, because I don't see any of your other friends' moms taking them to Vegas for a basketball tournament. That's awesome. You got to make custom Jordans, like, at the shoe surgeon workshop. Cool. And, like, so I gave him, like, the ultimate, like, birthday gift. Like, to me, I'd rather do that than, like, throw a big-ass party. Yeah. Like, I want him to have these memories where he's like,
experiences are everything.
Expand his mind a little bit and let him see, like, everything that you dream about, son, is there. Yeah. You just have to go get it.
Yeah, you gotta want it, and you gotta have passion and dedication and discipline, and you can do about anything. Pretty much. So I mean, you prove that you can.
It's one of the hardest things, and maybe this is something you can relate to, like. You always have a really good group of friends, your core group of friends. They're like your lifers. I call them the lifers. Right. They come and go, but they're always there, whatever. Everyone's going through their stuff. But sometimes, like, when you're growing inside of those friendships, like, you have some that just, they want what you have, but they're just not willing to shift, right? Yeah. Or they want more, and you're like, well, just do this. And, like, I can't do that. And you're just like, yes, you can. Yeah. And so I think I had that conversation with someone the other day, and they were like, well, I can't. And I said, I don't fucking believe in I can't. Yeah. I was getting a divorce. I never thought I would get divorced. I had a 1-year-old to an 11-year-old, like literally. Yeah. And we had house, money, business, car. We had all the shit. And that whole thing was like a box of Legos, and it got dumped on the floor, and I couldn't clean it up fast enough. And so I was trying to like fix me, keep them together, keep our like the life together. and build a business at the same time and act like everything was just fine.
You know why they can't though? Because I mean, this is really true. We all get into habits are the hardest thing to break, right?
True.
And what I mean by habits, if you're used to doing this thing every weekend, or you have this ideology of what a perfect life is, or the way you should act, or what you should do on weekends, or what you should, that whole structure, if you grew up like doing that, breaking that structure and that role is tough for people. Like change is the hardest thing. Even though they can do it, they've built these structures and ideologies around what they're supposed to be or do, that it almost won't let them just go out. Then that's why I think a lot of people don't find themselves. Like a lot of people never really truly become what they were meant to be, because they have these ideologies or these frameworks or these habits that they've done it for like not 20 years, 30 years, 10 years. And so I think those thought processes keep people from, they could do it, they mentally could do it, physically could do it, but they've just been put in that box, right or wrong. It may not be a bad box, but they just don't know how to get out of that box.
I think it's like fear and control, right? Like the fear of the unknown, the fear of like if I fail. But I don't think anything's a failure. I think it's a lesson.
No.
Like I think
You're
our job is to always
at some point.
evolve.
Yeah.
Like you have to grow and you have to evolve. Like if you don't, you never reach your life's purpose, your goal, or like true fulfillment. Right. Some people think, oh, if I make $10 million, my life will be perfect. The fuck it will.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be really expensive.
Yeah.
It'll be really expensive.
You'll just buy more shit, have more shit.
100%. Yeah.
And I think that's, I think that we just had a conversation about materialism and selfishness. It wasn't about that, but it came up in the topic in our previous one. And I think that's true. Like people think if I only get this, I'm going to be happy. Happiness is just a point in time. You can't be happy all the time.
No.
You can't be satisfied all the time. So you have to learn to live with that and know that, bad shit happens, or this, this is going to happen. People think money, all's money is, and right now the dollar is fiat money, by the way, so it's inflation and it's not good. That's not what riches are. No. Riches are friends, family, experiences that you live.
Yeah.
And so, wow, this shit went deep. We're
did.
You know what? Holy shit.
This is what happens. This is my magic.
This is what happened.
Welcome. You didn't even read my intro.
The SaltyMF Lady of the Year is we're going deep.
What did I write? I was like, I'm magical, whatever. I didn't even put any business shit. I
can't remember all that stuff. I'm a simple guy. I do remember the emotional
I'm a magical motherfucker.
A force of nature. The Mother-Flacher is a force of nature. So
I've been told.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
I'm not on the receiving end, so I never really know what that feels like.
This is what this is for, though. This is what this is for. We don't need a structure. I mean, we like to bring out the Scrilla Group. I do want to promote your business, but that's not important.
Listen, if you want to talk to me about business, just fucking look me up and call me. I don't really care.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
People really don't. They don't look. I do marketing and I do martech. Like you guys own a dev company. Like you do a turnkey thing that's customizable for the person on the other end. So like I'm like any other marketing person except for. Like
the
you
magic,
hit me.
The pixie
and
dust.
I just had that conversation with someone. I was like, how do you bottle magic? Because they want to know like a KPI, and I'm like, I can't fucking KPI magic, bro.
Yeah.
You just have to understand that when you're in the fold. Remember what I said to you? I was like, you're in the fold now, so you're going up, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah.
And you're like, let's go. So it's like that. It's like
energy.
It's energy, and
yeah.
We were just talking about this at Brinks today. We're talking about like different personality types and. I've taken every personality test you can imagine because I'm big on understanding like how fucked up am I or how awesome am I, right?
On a spectrum of craziness, where are you?
Yeah, like I need to know.
Are you a 1 low or you're a 10 high?
Yeah, I gotta. Oh no, I'm the unicorn, bitch.
Everybody's crazy. Everybody's crazy.
Listen. I'm not like stab you in the shower. I'm just like, you guys want to get drunk and make poor life choices?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get drunk. I don't make poor life choices.
Yeah,
and then I take videos. And then I go, remember when you did this yesterday? And you're like, you fucking asshole, why'd you take this picture?
Yeah, keep that because that could make a lot of money with. That's how you make a lot of money.
That's for the private stock, man. We keep those to ourselves. I'm pretty sure people have them of me. And I, again, believe in reciprocity. So, I'm not going to share your junk if you don't share my junk. Sign the NDA, buddy. Sign the NDA. Lifetime.
Exactly. So you're the perfect person in my mind to work with John and those guys over at Brinks as far as what they're doing, because I just you guys are a match in heaven. I mean, because of his all over the place and just your attitude. If someone came in and they were just kind of straight, are we good? All right. Straight laced, walking the line, they'd want to hang themselves after spending 5 minutes with John. So.
It's so funny you should say that. We were just talking about all this, and I've been meaning to talk to John and be like, hey, listen. So I really think I need to be the gatekeeper for all the people that are coming in and out lately. Like everybody wants a piece.
Yeah.
Not everybody is worthy of a piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And so we were kind of talking about it, and I just said, he actually ended up saying something to me, and he was like, I need you to be this person, I need you to do this. And I said, cool, which is not what they actually brought me in to really do.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of interesting, because I'm like, again, it's not about the skill that I have, it's the person that I am, and the understanding of, I get you, I understand what you want, but here's where it actually works. Now, let's use marketing or partnership or whatever to make it happen.
Yeah.
But I'm very good at look, I can read energy. I could sit in a room, best bar game ever. You ever want to have fun? Y'all fuckers, we're going to Vegas. And we're going to sit at one of my favorite bars, and we're going to sit at the Godfather table, and we're just going to slow drink. And we're going to watch everyone in the room. And I could single-handedly, down to, personality profile, where they are in the hierarchy of the pecking order of their oldest sibling, middle child, birthday, literally. And you could walk over to them and go, are you a blah, 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 blah? And they'd be like, oh, my God, how do you know that?
I'm terrible.
I can fucking read a room. And people, it is the greatest shit ever.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible at that, because I'll be sitting at the bar in Vegas, and I was talking to this lady, and I was asking her about her business, and I'm talking about my business, and she's like, oh, okay, well, here's my business card. And I mean, I'm not thinking anything of it, and it's her totally nude on her card, and I was like, oh shit, wow, that's whoa. Damn.
She was listening to you, bro.
I missed that. I missed that cue. I was let's do some solver, salty teas, whatever. And then I was like,
she's like, I need some guys to program my e-commerce site for my OnlyFans page.
In my room.
Try to make some side hustle money.
Yeah, so I'm terrible at that. I'm terrible at that. But I kind of give everybody the benefit of the doubt until you screw me.
That's funny. Done. I said this last night. We were talking about. Have you ever watched that show, The Masked Singer? Where the celebrities wear masks and costumes.
It's like the Furby feel.
Kinda. They sing or whatever. Yeah. So we were leaving the sushi restaurant, all of us, and Kevin goes, is that show whatever? And I go, yeah, it's celebrities who aren't real singers, but they sing, and then they perform, and you don't know who they are. And I was like, and some of them are really good, whatever. John goes, shut the fuck up. He goes, hold on. He goes, you don't actually believe they're really singing, do you, Flacco? And I go, well, John, I know auto-tune exists, but thank you. I was just trying to sell it to Kev.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, because I was like, oh my God. I said, first of all, let's establish two things right now. Everyone is guilty until proven innocent. Yeah. Everyone has a motive. I used to be.
Now it's fighting time.
Okay, wait, listen. And then I said, and then I don't believe shit anymore, because I feel like, again, we're being served up all kinds of shit every day on social, TV, everything.
But you're talking about organized propaganda. That's what's going on right now. That's not individuals.
No. You're right, correct. But I also kind of I don't take anything at face value anymore. I receive it. I'll receive the information, and then I'm a research person, so I will go and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig, and then I'll come to my own conclusion based off of a culmination of information and facts. Because you might believe this, and somewhere in the middle.
But that's actually that served you well in business, because that's actually how you make a good business decision.
Well, I have patience too. I don't just pull a trigger. I'm like, wait. This is a brilliant idea. It really is. However,
John pulls the trigger.
However, I gotta call Paul. Paul's gonna love me soon. He's gonna be like, fuck,
Uncle Paulie, the reason.
But I'm trying to make Paul's life better. Paul, I love you so much. Thank you for being amazing.
The audience is like, who the hell is Paul?
Paul is your
Paul is our partner at SaltyMF. He's awesome. He's my he's my spirit animal that I'm not. So
he's
we're
the
good.
analytical, like, cross T, I, make sure and he's like, no, we can't do that, which really means kind of, let me get back to you, then yes, we can.
Yeah, exactly.
He's very, like, he's a perfect governor switch for certain people.
What are you saying? So what's your point?
Oh, no, I fucking think you're awesome.
I'm just kidding.
No.
Without Paul, the empire would not be here. So we love Uncle Paulie. But
Yeah, Dimitri too is good peeps.
yeah,
You surround yourself with great people, so that is a testament to you.
Well, I tell people that in business, that you don't have to be everything. You have to be what you're good at. So I'm a people person. I'm a relationship person. I'm a loyal person. I like people. I want to give people a chance. I want to see you succeed. And so I don't need to have in some of the businesses that we're in, there's certain areas of expertise that though I can, business-wise, I know what it means and why it's important and the process around it, but I'm not going to be the guy doing the work. Not because I'm above it, it's because it's not who I am. And I think anyone starting a business or, getting out and moving into the world and doing what they're doing, you need to realize you do need, like, sports and business have a lot of, like, similarities. You need a strong team.
Yeah. You
And
do.
you can go out and say, I did it, I'm the one. Reality of it is you did. Someone in that, whether it's your damn banker or someone loaned you the money or your marketing person or your IT guy or whoever it was, like, without that group of people working together, you're never going to build anything substantial or lasting.
It's so funny. I really feel like my life in these last 9 months, because I've just made a very convicted effort to stay super hyper focused on my future and my goals of where I'm really trying to go in the next 5 years, and tuned out a lot of distractions that don't align. And it's funny because I feel like my life is very in sync.
Yep.
Down to, like, conversations, and then, like, this is literally piggybacking off of a conversation we've been having for almost 24 hours at Brinks.
Well, because I'm psychic and you don't know
I
that.
know. You know why? It's because you're a Sagittarius.
You didn't know, yeah.
See? Yeah, we talked about that.
We don't like to be tied down. We don't like.
That's why we're kindred. That's why we're like the best of friends,
you need to turn that. Let's turn this whole astrology thing off.
Do the facts hurt? It's okay.
No, it's all right.
It's all right.
Hey,
listen, from one fucked up person to the
to
other.
another.
Yeah.
Well,
I will be your validation and enabler for all your stupid shit.
There may be some truth in that. So kudos. Touche.
Sorry. All my favorite best friends are Sagittariuses. I'm an Aquarius, so we naturally, like, we enable each other's stupidity.
Yeah,
so the validation is real, and at this level in my life and this age, I really only want to be around people who enable me.
Yeah.
Good or bad, but, like, I don't want to fight my people.
Yeah.
I want them to be like, all right, whatever you want, I'm
here. Well, negative energy, whether it's, we were talking about this on a previous podcast too, like, complainers are the worst.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a nagger, a complainer, everything's shit, the world's going to an end, you're like, that's, like, a lot of weight for people to carry. Mm-hmm. And that's, like, what we were talking, like, hey, look, you should help people, you should want to help people, but if they're going to keep dumping their trash on your ass, like, hey, look, I'm out, right? Like, you have to be able to say, look, it's your burden or your problem or your inability to get over whatever you can't get over. You're making people carry it, get over it. Right. And I think that's hard to do that because some people are business partners or friends or family or whatever, and you love them and you don't want to just say that to them, but you got to learn in life to just say shit. I not everything's good all the time. It's not happy land. It's not zippity doo dah zip. It's not all that, but the reality of it is shit. It ain't all bad either. So
no, it's not.
So I agree with you. I think that. Find people that support you, that like you, that'll tell you the truth. I mean, if you're, like I said, if you're believing in your own bullshit, have someone will call you out and say,
There was a time in my life where it was really hard for me to hear, like, the truth from the people that loved me the most. And I was like, oh my God. And they're like, you just never want to hear the truth. I mean, this was a long time ago. We are far past that now. Now I'm like, they're like, I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'm like, go ahead. And they tell me, and I'm like, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm not ready to change that yet. I understand that it's real.
Unless you're hurting someone, here's the deal. Unless you're hurting someone and you're destructive and you're, a tornado or just shit rolling around, leave people alone. Quit, assess your damn self and look to the inside. Quit judging them. Well, you know what I don't like, Monty? Well, you know what? I really don't give a shit. You know what I don't like? You did this. Okay, great. Who cares? I mean, stop. I mean, stop doing that.
Right.
That's the problem in the world too. Everyone wants to tell you what's wrong with you or but not what's wrong with themselves. Correct. So I'm going to give you some advice as your spiritual guide today.
Oh,
if you're a spiritual guide today,
go ahead.
Hey, look, don't even listen to it. Whatever.
I don't. They say, and I'm like, I appreciate you not like letting me know. Like, I'll evaluate that.
I'll consider it.
And then I sit there and I go, really, motherfucker? Look at my life and look at your life.
All right, so that's my point, because that's when you start getting into where people start doing this.
Like,
versus someone's a big enough man or woman that says, no, and move on. I'm just no. As your spiritual guide, I just give you some very good advice.
If you're gonna be my spiritual guy, I'm gonna need you to have those like drums and
with the water bottle.
and
Well,
shit.
I've got a water bottle.
Maybe a yoga mat. Do we have a Buddha around here that I can rub its belly?
No Buddhas. We got a goat. We got Belushi, the master, whatever Sherpa.
Well, here we are.
So that's
here. Okay, so here's where we're at.
So what advice do you? I mean, I always ask people because you've got you're a mom, a mother of just 4 great kids. You've started your own business. You're doing fun stuff. Like what do you tell people? How if someone's stuck and feels like they can't get over, what do you tell them to do?
It's funny. I just had this conversation with my best friend on the way here.
Awesome. So once again, psychic. So I pulled that out. So let's let it go.
Look at you!
It's just pulling it. It's around.
I'm literally I'm like lobbing it over there, and you're like, I got it.
Here you go, Elizabeth. Hit this.
I'm ready.
Here's the ball. Hit it.
Okay, so she was just like, her words were, I can't believe that this is my life. And I said, well, then you have to change it. And she goes, I just don't know how. And I said, okay, well, why don't you write it down on a piece of paper? What do you really hate about your life right now? Like, all of it, brain dump. Cry it out. I don't give a fuck what you need to do. And then I was like, on another sheet of paper, what would be your perfect life? Okay, so where is there a way to solve the not happy shit and get to the good shit? And then we make a plan to get to the good shit. Now, you might have a 15-item list. Bitch, we're not doing that tomorrow. And I was like, and lucky for you, your best friend's a psycho, and she's super crazy, and just fucking drinks a lot of caffeine, and she's your hype girl.
Stay up all night.
And then there's this video by Kevin Hart that's like, when you sign on to be my best friend, your bullshit is my bullshit, and my bullshit is your bullshit, and we agreed that our bullshit is a thing, right? So I said to her, I was like, so whatever your bullshit is, I'm here for it. But I was like, I would prefer our bullshit be like, hey, bitch, I got $1 million to blow today. Let's go get some Hot Boys and make poor life choices. You know what I'm saying? And she just starts laughing. And I was like, you're welcome. I drank a Celsius. You're welcome.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it really starts with, what do you not like about your life?
Right.
What are you unhappy about? Right. Do you want more money? Do you hate your job? Do you not like where you live? Like, are you fat? Do you think you, like, whatever, what is it?
Yeah.
And be fucking honest with yourself. Like, be really, really honest with what's going on and how you feel. And then make a list of, like, in a perfect world, I wake up at 7 a.m., I work out, like, dinners, like, break it down, like, really, really finite. And then figure out, like, what can you actually solve now?
Right.
And then consistently make a plan to do that.
So
and watch your life change.
How responsive was she to it?
She was like, you are kind of psycho. And I was like, I'm also your biggest fucking fan.
But it was work. Like, did she do it?
Well, it was just literally like 30 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. So
we'll see what happens.
We're getting good over here. That's like
happens.
almost down to the second.
I'm just saying,
we're within
man.
half-hour increments. They can't beat that. Call 1-800-SALTY-MF for your guidance, your psychic guidance. I will guide you.
Oh my God.
So,
next time I'm going to wear my fucking bandana and bring my crystal ball and shit.
I will guide you through the process.
Maybe I'll wear one big
All right,
loop.
if she doesn't have the list by the end of the week, she ain't going to do it.
Listen,
so,
we're very different.
Hey, look, I'm not knocking you, but if you don't have that list damn done.
I love her. We're just very different.
All right.
And, you know, she's more of like this. I don't know, she's a Sagittarius. She sees the other side of you.
I don't write anything down. And I definitely ain't making a list. So I pick shit out of the air as it flies by, like a gnat. I have the attention span of a gnat. So if a good idea comes in, I get it, run with it for a while. But I don't write it down.
that's
So
actually
don't
really,
judge me
you know
and tell
what?
me what
That's
I am.
actually interesting. So you're one of those people that you just launch into action,
Absolutely.
maybe without a plan. You just go.
Absolutely.
So in your like success, non-success, like how many of those just launch have been like fuck yeah and have been like well.
Like for business perspective, so our software company has been in business 25 years in January, so that's a long time.
Congratulations.
So we've lasted a quarter of a century, so we did something right there. What I tell people, and Salty's about 2.5 years old. We've had some other businesses along the side that we sold or were involved in. What I tell people, if you're going into the business world and it's not just something you want to do, that you better be prepared to strap on 5 years. You need to give this idea 5 years.
Totally.
And like in some cases, we've had some products fail, not related to this podcast, that we spent 5 or 6 years on, and it was painful to shut it down. We didn't want to shut it down. It was a martech product.
Oh, I remember the one you told me about.
Martech, yeah. And so, we didn't want to. We gave it the whole college effort and more, spent a lot of money in it. But I tell people that, oh, you're an entrepreneur, that's so great, whatever. So those usually, unless you take private equity or you get a large investment, we've always been cash flow business. We've always grinded it out, and that's a slower route. But we were doing it because we were passionate about it. It wasn't there to sell. We weren't trying to get rid of it. We wanted it to be there for 25 years.
Right.
We want Salty to be here in 25 years. So I just tell people that, so yes, even though sporadically we're doing that, I'm taking information on knowledge that I've had. Is this a good idea? We can go through real quick what's a good idea and what's a bad idea. Like we've seen enough things that we know. So that's my approach. But yeah, there was no really business plan. There was no, marketing plan, because I do believe kind of what you were saying. You can tell just by conversations about your ideas and what you're getting ready to do, how receptive people are. So I would encourage anyone that's starting a business, starting an idea, talk to people about it. See if they get excited about it. See what their reactions are, whatever. And if you get enough people that are like, damn, wow, whatever, then that's a good idea. Now you got to go execute it. And that's the idea part's 30 seconds. The execution side's 5 years.
100%, I would agree with that.
So
yeah,
I don't bullshit people. Business is not really a get-rich scheme. Everyone that I know that tries to do that loses money. And anything that we did that was for money, and one of the things we did that we put under was because we thought we were going to make a lot of money, and we didn't make money. And everything that we did just based on our belief, our passion, our knowledge of it, it's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And so I just encourage people, don't lie to yourself, but also just because something's not going well in the first year or the second year or the third year, you keep at it in 6th, 7th year, then you're living that life you wanted to live.
Yeah.
But it's painful. It's painful sometimes. And,
yeah, you have to really believe in you more than anyone else.
Yeah, you do.
Like believes in you, because at the end of the day, people are going to tell you, oh, that's stupid. Oh, you're not going to be able to do it. You're going to have the haters. Even your family sometimes, they just don't quite understand it. But if you know that it's what you're supposed to do, you create a plan, and you have to have a plan. I mean, you really do. Like, you can have a great idea and you can move forward. But, like, you have partners that are probably like, okay, how are we actually going to do this thing, right? How are we going to build?
Well, we did. But, I mean, my point is the original wasn't.
Right.
Original wasn't.
Well, you kind of like
later
trial
on,
by
when you
fire.
start hiring people and doing all this stuff,
Yeah.
you have to kind of say, okay, what's our revenue coming in? Can we cover costs? So, yeah, you do have to have a plan.
Right.
But I think also that it's more so back to the people around you. And if you don't pick the right people when you're starting a company, or even when you're on your way, a bad person or bad people can knock you off course for a long time. Even getting the right investors, if you're going to get investors, or have the right, because I mean, right now there's a lot of private equity money out there. There's a lot of financing available. We probably get, I can't tell you how many a week. The reality is, the cost comes with getting that money, right? And
yeah, I mean, you have to consider their ideas, right?
And they're going to put a budget on you, or they're not going to let you feel free to do what you want. So there's a cost. Money's not free.
Correct.
And I think I see a lot of young people that get into business, or even older people get into business, saying, "Oh, well, I just raised $1 million. Okay, good. Well, that's going to be gone in 6 months."
No shit.
So I mean, that's hard. I'm old. So I have that wisdom of knowing, okay, it's not a good deal, right? But anyway, so I don't know how I got it. We've talked about philosophy, astrology, what what else? What else you got?
Fun fact.
Let's go.
I beat pretty much every dude ever chugging an Irish car bomb.
Once again, the SaltyMF Lady of the Year. Here we go, Elisabeth Flach. You want
fun story. I also have very sparkly, bedazzled heels that I wear with my ball gowns. Like okay. I know you wouldn't think that.
Well, I'm going to post your glamour shot for this.
Oh my god!
I'm posting the glamour shot for this podcast.
Good Lord. Actually, that is a fun story. You probably know a guy by the name of Takeo Spikes.
Yeah, I know him.
So he's my client for many years, good friend, and he retired from the NFL and started this whole like photography brand. He wrote a book. Now he's got the podcast with Teuton, whatever. So we helped launch his entire Behind the Mask brand.
That's awesome.
And there came a point where, he was talking about all this photography. He has this amazing studio in his house. And I was like, bro, I need new photos. He's like, well, I had to come up here for like a meeting or something. And I was like, well, I'm just going to come out to the house. Let's do like a photo shoot. I want to see how good you really are at what you say you're good at. Like I'll pay you to shoot photos of me. He's like, all right. So we did this entire photo shoot. Like,
is that what that's from?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he did that?
Uh-huh.
Well, hey, Takeo, you did a good job, man. Way to go. Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go.
I have an entire, I changed wardrobe a couple of times. We even did, some fun, cool shit, as if I were on, the cover of, Vogue magazine. Yeah, that's I laid on, he has, the wall, the infinity
You're getting
wall.
the SaltyMF Woman of the Year
literally
on this podcast. We're giving it to you.
I laid down, and, he took my hair, and he, put it out, and did, all this really fucking cool shit, and then he took pictures above, and I was like, bro, I'm like a supermodel now.
We're going to show it off.
It was so cool.
Well... I mean, I've really enjoyed having you on. We'll have you back.
Thank you.
We'll have you back.
Well, I'll be back. You know that.
Yeah, we'll be back. We're doing some projects together through something that we're both engaged in here. So you are welcome back. You are definitely a whirlwind and definitely a ball of energy. And proud of you. For moms out there and mothers of 4 and kids and working hard and whatever, sometimes it's hard to live your life. Don't let anything stop you. So. Hell, we love women here. Without women, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair. So
true. Amen.
So God bless you. But so folks, if you want to check out your company, do you want to send people to your company or not?
Sure.
All right, tell them what it is.
Well, so there's two. There's ScrillaGroup.com.
Okay.
But then there's also Mother-Flacher.com.
Okay, so Mother-Flacher is. So I'm going to say this in closing. So when Elisabeth and I first met, our SaltyMF, obviously with our logo, whenever I saw her logo for Mother-Flacher, and it's the MF, and I was like,
same.
I was like, look, bitch. I was like, look,
font.
bitch. I got this mark registered. I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna sue you from day one.
Fuck you.
So we're compromising. So I said, oh, you can come on the podcast instead. But well, check her out, guys. We really appreciate it. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Let's go. Hey, ho!